Chris, it's all you, my guy.
In honor of Martin Luther King week, I would like to give you guys. I would like you guys to give me a couple of minutes. Oh, man, on Martin Luther King Day. Give me a second.
But somewhere I read of the freedom of assembly. Somewhere I read of the freedom of speech. Somewhere I read of the freedom of press. Somewhere I read that the greatness of America is the right to protest far right. So just as I say, we aren't going to let any dogs or water hoses turn us around. We aren't going to let any injunction turn us around. Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now because I've been to the mountaintop. I don't mind.
That was April 2nd. I mean, April 6th, 1969. He died the next day, April 4th. I mean, April 7th, 1968. I mean, well, both of them was 1968. I would like to say tonight that your sacrifice would not go in vain. Your sacrifice would always be remembered. Happy Martin Luther King Day to everyone out there. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Hey, listen, last week I was wounded, but emotionally I am a little bit more stable. Tonight, listen, we had to take off to recognize the national championship because I know a lot of y'all were sitting under your booth trying to be supportive as his team got the brakes beat off of them. But tonight, my brothers was there for me, and I want to be there for my brother. One of my brothers is heavily in mourning. He's grieving. I've never seen him act in such a fashion. And, we all deal with loss in our own special way. And to see my brother act the way he did was not typical of the character that we usually see from Super Mario. And this weekend, by 1 second, well, at least hope in his eyes, the traditional Dallas Cowboys ended their NFL season with a loss in the playoffs. Was I surprised it got there? Absolutely. There was so much hope on the team that y'all call America's team. And tonight, I want to say I despise the Cowboys, but my heart is definitely with my brother, Super Mario. All right. The last Cowboy, I seen people at that game crying. I'm pretty sure somebody threw their TV, somebody ran through a screen porch. I know my friend did not, Ronnie Felder did not answer his phone yesterday. And when I did talk to him, he said, F the Cowboys. So I got to question how he handles a loss. So tonight, I want to give the mic first to the person that is experiencing the biggest heartbreak. The man who watched his team get beat like a pinata at home on NFL Sunday. So Mario, our heart goes out to you. I'm gonna laugh, but it's just because of the camaraderie that we have with each other. I'm gonna give you the mic first, man. Last time it's your night.
Yeah, it was a devastating weekend. I learned a couple things in this grueling defeat that we suffered. First of all, I had to tell myself and be real with myself and say, what is a fan? And fan is short for fanatic. So I hear a lot of people throw that word around and say they fans when they're nothing but preposterous imposers. They're nothing of the sort of a fan. I see no emotional charge or riling up when their team loses. I don't even see any disappointment or any gracious glee when their team wins. All I see is we won, we lost. On the other hand, I am a fan. I bleed the blue and gray. And by the way, on every one of my vehicles is a stamp. In every house I've ever stayed in has been a stamp. My son's first hat was a cowboy hat. And it's because I'm loyal by default. Once you're on my side, I can't do no wrong. I've never been a switcher. I've been a Chicago Bulls and Dallas fan all my life. And on my grave, they'll put that in my obituary. That's the two teams I like. So I don't have the luxury of switching teams, following players, or going with a team when he's on his up and discounting them when they're down. I don't have that luxury. And I had to understand that yesterday. That I'm going to be with the Cowboys and have to take all the ridicule. But what I will not do is take ridicule from people who got ass whooped or didn't make it thus far. As Martin Luther King has said, see, I've been to the mountaintop. And I won't listen to pigeons who can't fly that high. See, a lot of people sent me memes today who team went utter disarray. Let me name a few. The Atlanta Falcons, we beat 43-3 this year. They seem to have all the memes in their storybook after we beat their ass. We also beat the Patriots, beat the shit out of them too. And they got their ass whooped right before us the same day. But I didn't see a lot of memes go around on that. The Dolphins, as we know, did not swim up that stream as usual. But I seem to get a lot of memes from Dolphins fans. We're not in the division or on their side of the conference either, might I ask. So that's why I want to get to the question today. I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. There's only 3 teams I care about. Well, 4. The New York Giants, the Washington Redskins, and the Eagles. And the team we're playing that weekend. I don't give a damn about what your team does on the Sunday. I don't care if you want to lose. If the 49ers win next Sunday, I'm not going to jump out my chair and send 1,000 memes because it doesn't make us losing any worse. So for 3 people who are not a Cowboys fan and don't have to win it, I want to know, like, what drives people who have no dog in the fight to simply hate. I looked at the word hater. It said a person who has no conscious reason to dislike or oppose the opposite person and gets no gain out of it. That's what that is, a hater. I want to know, how do people live with themselves knowing they are a hater at heart? You have the floor, fellas. And go Cowboys.
Well, I say this. Those that know me know that I've always been a 49er fan. My family comes from Mississippi, a small Ruleville, Mississippi, a small town in Mississippi, and my auntie always bragged about going to college with Jerry Rice at Mississippi Valley State. So I grew up a 49er fan. Now, ever since the Kaepernick thing, we broke up, we separated, and it's been just a rocky thing since then. So I haven't rooted so much. So I couldn't take pleasure and pride in this victory because, again, for the last 3-4 years, me and the 49ers have been on a high, broken up, and we're trying to get things back together, but it ain't there yet. So I haven't been able to relish in this victory. I would love to, but I think it would be sort of like what DeMario's saying if I was to all of a sudden get gleeful about this victory. It's sort of like the woman cheating on you and you're happy that she's in another relationship. Nah, we ain't gonna do that. But like I said, I understand what you're saying, my brother, and I would love to celebrate, but I actually can't. But those that do know me know that I was always a 49er fan. That's it.
Horace?
Oh, you're gonna give me the listen here, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you the mic.
Well, I want to say this, Mario. I do say that. I'm biased because you're a friend, and I know you were hurting yesterday. And I know I took a lot of crap when after I ended my 20-year career in New England, I made the difficult decision to leave with my quarterback and go to Tampa. I take ridicule for that, but I love Tom Brady. I think he's a football angel. And I definitely, maybe because the Dallas Cowboys was always called America's team, it gave me some jealousy. All right. I don't like your owner, but I don't want to say I actually wanted y'all to win yesterday because I thought we could beat y'all rather than beat the 49ers. So next season, someone at the bar asked me tonight, say, why the Cowboys are hurt? I'm like, you can be so close one year and say, oh, we're going to just repeat. And that team might not make it back for another 3, 4, 5 years. And sometimes, man, one play can change a whole Super Bowl. To be honest, I love Tom Brady. He is the GOAT. But do not know when you are that good that you don't get a lot of lucky plays that go along with that. Whether it's the Patriots, it's the Bucks, luck does play a part. I guess somebody said it. Luck is meeting preparation or some kind of quote like that. So, hey man, I'm gonna pass it to the man that don't know what winning feel like. He's been a Dolphin fan so long. I judge him.
Shut your
I
damn
don't even
trap.
know. Like,
Team
I
Hopper.
would date a girl that's a Dolphin fan.
Yeah, get the hell out of here, Team Hopper. I'm impartial, Mario. I'm just like you. I'm Dolphins till the day I die. Matter of fact, I think we're gonna break up after that dumbass move they made with my goddamn coach.
I'm glad you said something about it. I'm glad you said it.
Yeah,
racist. Y'all team racist.
Well, listen, the hell with them. The hell with the NFL. Matter of fact, I don't give a damn about football because my beloved Florida State is acting the fool too. So I just don't even watch that crap. So Mario, I'm impartial. I feel you, my brother. I am going to switch gears on this whole thing and say happy Martin Luther King Day because today is a King's Day. All right. I know this. I'm going to shout out some Kings because, their birthdays happen. Our brother Gregory, happy birthday, King. Tonight is Dwight's birthday. Happy birthday, King. Mario's birthday is at the end of this year. By the end of this month. We're going to drink. King, when you get down here, we're going to enjoy. Matter of fact, another king of ours, cuz he's having the biggest car show that Palm Beach County is going to see. You should be here that weekend. We're going to partake in that too. See, so it's going to be a win. That's what's going to happen. You feel me? I think this weekend was a lovely weekend because I didn't care if anybody won or lost because my team was not in it. So I have no hate in my heart. You feel me? But we will enjoy. I can't wait till you come down. We had 3/4 of the Black Super Friends at the Tiki Bar, having a ball, having a great time. I know that I've been off the scene for a while. I popped up, and it was joyous. You know it. Flip-flops and socks, in the words of the great Outkast. I had to remind a few people that it ain't on me. God damn it, it's in me. It ain't on me. You feel me? So don't worry about how I'm coming. Because you already know how I'm coming. If it's time to step, Zay can step. But at that point in time, I heard my beloved brother was in town, and the attire that I had on was flip-flops and socks, and that's exactly how I came. Like Jesus said, come as you are. And that's what I did. So the end of this month, all 4 of us will be in the building. If you rock with the Black Super Friends podcast, I suggest you be there. Enjoy. Because that's what we're gonna do.
It looked like a nice environment, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a nice chill environment, man. I think that needs to be more it should be even better that Sunday though.
Yeah, it was mature. We had a few people to come in on the post that our beloved Horace had, and they said, so y'all just gonna stress mature? Yes. Jitterbugs, stay home. If you look at all of us have salt and pepper in our beards. That means we seasoned veterans. And we don't listen, y'all teeny boppers, if you don't know how to conduct yourself, please don't come to our environment. You're not welcome.
The good thing about it, it's another environment for y'all, so you don't have to feel left out. You can just scurry on over and leave that environment to those
Just
people who are a little more mature. And that's a good
yeah.
thing, man. I appreciate that because that was my biggest gripe with Palm Beach. Every time I came home, I had to put back on my Reeboks to go into a club or put on all black. And I
Soldiers.
just didn't feel like I'm like, God, the best places to go is the worst places to go, and it can't be when there's all this ocean view. You know what I'm saying? And that was one of my biggest things. I complain to horrors all the time about this. And it's like, damn, bro, there's nothing to go where you can just sit down and then just chill. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because my Nuck if you buck days are over, man. And I'm not trying to do that all night. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Horace and the Tiki Bar too. I must say, man, it's a breath of fresh air when I come home.
Turn your mic
All
on.
those
Yeah,
parts.
appreciate it. Listen, guys. So listen, we're gonna try to get it down. I wanna talk to y'all about something, man. And I know I shared it with y'all because I was kind of like blindsided with it. One thing I do is on Facebook. I feel like people like drama, but if I post something, I'm posting some personal stuff I did, Black Super Friend stuff, family stuff, or I'm posting something that is an FYI. You know, whether it's about housing, whether it's about, I feel like it's my page, so I can post what the hell I want, but I feel like none of that I post
That
is
part.
outrageous. You know what I mean? So this week, man, we posted a video that went viral. And in the video, it was on the show Ayana's Fix My Life, where a man, and the title was Father Rejects Apology After Being Falsely Accused of Molesting His Own Daughters. Because he didn't want to be with this woman. This woman told the kid at a young age that they couldn't see their daddy. Daddy couldn't be around for 20 plus years because he molested them, which was a lie, right? An entire lie that didn't get exposed until that show. And then the guy was saying how it destroyed him and how he couldn't forgive her. Even the kids were like you fed this, like you kept our daddy away because he didn't want you. A lie. My caption, once I posted it, and everybody, men and women, everyone was outraged and felt like they were disgusted. My caption was, "This man deserves to be in the next Bible for his strength. Oh, this is evil." So later on, at some point, we get a comment from somebody. We get a lot of comments from people, even on YouTube. You can't filter out the crazy. And I want to go back to we had someone, and I was targeted. So one of the first comment was, "I'm looking forward to seeing more posts from you, Horace, depicting Black women in a positive light. Thanks in advance." So to keep it short, I said, can you do that vice versa? But I'm going to get to the one that was probably, this is not a competition. Men cannot behave catty like women, expect to be respected. Your grandfather didn't have time to sit on a podcast with a bunch of men who failed in their marriages and discuss rubbish. They were out busy working to take care of the children they were going home to. Y'all have too much free time on your hands, mostly because most kids are being raised by single mothers while you men get to do podcasts. Mom is home sleeping because she is tired. And I kept it uh, G on it. And I can't recall all of the comments, but I mean, some of the comments talking about we need to go be fathers. We need to go do some of our lives, be active in our communities. Yeah,
All of
y'all
which
need
we
to
do,
get
huh?
from behind those cameras and go build something in your communities like real men teams, which was amazing because a lot of the comments came in was on the ass. And I'm like, be active in your community. To me, and the interesting part about all of this was we don't know this person. I don't know you. You've never met me. So, man, that had me in such a place that I had to come to y'all and was like, bro, I responded once or twice and I'm like, you trolling me at this point because the accusatory part was you're talking about me saying putting black women in a positive light, but then you took four men that are doing something positive with the show. We're doing what we want to do, and telling them like that we aren't doing anything positive. We need to get from behind cameras, do something, raise our kids. So I just had to get y'all takes on that, Chris. Okay, I could ran on, but I wanted to make sure we gave full detail to about that discussion.
Well, to me, this is typical woman warfare. This is typical woman warfare. There's a quote in the book, The Art of War. It says, "Know thy enemy, know thyself, and the victory is never in doubt." Now, again, if you know anything about woman warfare, it starts off with an accusation. Then it goes to blaming and shaming. Then it ends with an insult. So this is typical for that. But I want to talk about something I want to highlight some of the things that she said in the post. She said something about her friends wanting time to do a podcast because they're too busy parenting. And she also said something about to the effect of I'm not sure, I can't remember, but I want to talk about that first, right? I'm gonna give you a little back. I'm gonna give y'all a little backstory. This is the process of the Black Super Friends podcast. We have a group chat on Facebook. We have a group chat on Instagram. Throughout the week, we bounce information off each other. By Sunday, we formulate 4 topics, and at that point, you have from the time we get it Sunday all the way until Monday at 9 p.m. to get just a simple framework of what you're going to say or your perspective on it. Because honestly, it's just 4 guys having 4 friends, I should say, having conversation. The only difference is we take turns for entertainment purposes. That's it. But it's 4 guys simply having conversation. I don't know what you do, ma'am, when you with your friends, maybe you guys talk about saving the world, saving the black community and all these positive things all the time. But for most of us, when we get together, we talk about a variety of things, which we try to portray on the show. We talk about a variety of things. We talk about some positive stuff. We talk about some bullshit. We shooting the shit. Sometimes it's an entertainment package. So that's exactly what we do on this show. Now, that process takes about maybe 2 hours out of our day. In a week, 24 times 7 is like 168. So you mean to tell me that your friends don't have 2 hours to put a camera in their face, get on YouTube and talk about whatever the hell they want to talk about, or you personally don't have the time to do that and try to create a stream of income? Because that's what we basically doing. We're trying to build a brand to get a stream of income so that we can facilitate financially those kids that you say that you're raising, ma'am. That's what we're trying to do. So we don't understand how you're taking it like that. So, but at the end of the day, I also want to talk about you saying that about us not posting positive stuff about women. Now, again, that shows me that you don't watch the show. Because personally, I would love, because what we do is we try to cater to the audience as much as we possibly can. Ma'am, I would love to talk about sports the whole time I'm here, but these guys outvoted me and said I couldn't do it because we have to cater to the audience. So what happens then is we start to post things about that's favorable to women. When we post positive stuff about women, we don't get those comments that you're doing. We don't get the shares. We don't get none of that energy that you have when we post something positive. But when we post something that what you call bashing, now we get your comments. Now we get your shares. Now we get your views. So, ma'am, I got a promise for you. If you guys, and you tell your women this, if you guys comment, share, like the times when we post something positive about women that you that you don't think is bashing, I'll turn into a 90s R&B singer. I'll pay your rent. I'll cook your dinner too. Soon as I'm home from work. But if you keep on responding to the negative stuff, I'm gonna stay like Too Short. Biatch. Who's next?
Love it.
My God. Listen. I'm trying.
Perfect sermon,
I
Chris.
goddamn
Perfect
Chris.
sermon.
Listen,
Perfect
what the
sermon.
thing that got me was this, because honestly, I'm like, I've never. That's a whole different show. Where I always tell y'all, people will take this show and create an assumption of who I'm supposed to be from what you perceive. Like Nipsey had a quote one time, like, "Don't put your expectations on me." Like, so when this person said the things about what we need to do, like, you had no idea. It's the whole basis of the show. It's four friends that used to be hell. Listen, we grew, we matured, we turned into men, four successful men. That's the basis of the show. It's funny because I went to Bamboo and I seen Dr. Taylor. It was like, man, what y'all doing? I love it. Keep it going. Love the impact. It's needed. Black men are telling me, bro, I like what y'all doing. I love the show. Brothers might not even comment. They will call and say, bro, yeah, bro, I'm glad y'all talked about XYZ. Nowhere else is this happening. Because you got four men, four straight men. You know what I mean? Fathers. Ain't no deadbeats on this. We wouldn't even allow each other to be those people. So I just found it interesting in that we got attacked by somebody that we don't know. But Chris has been in entertainment. All of Mario, I got Mario music. Don't think Mario didn't rap too, because I can go get
Oh man, listen.
But we have gotten a taste of fame, so we know what that's like. But for somebody who don't know us to say we need to get behind them cameras, I need to do more in my community, bruh. The
Hey,
comments
don't forget about the great Dominique Wilkins, who told us that this show is one of his favorite, and we got receipts to back up what we say.
bruh.
Don't come play with us. Play with yourself. Oh, you're cheering like you said you do.
So that
Get
was
some
my take. So I don't remember who's next because I just was dumbfounded by that.
Mario.
What was your take, Harder?
Yeah. Before I give it to good brother to say, I want to say, Chris, that was eloquently spoken, and I do validate and approve everything you just said, because the saddest thing about it is what Horace alluded to when he first introduced us to this, is that if you was ever to take just 1 hour out your day and honestly look at our show, you would see that most of our criticism comes from a level of trying to understand how can we make it better. So, like, if we're criticizing and taking advice or taking feedback from women to say, hey, this is how a man sees it, but women, are we seeing it wrong? Is it anything that can be done? This is just a man's point of view. Now, we also bring women on the show. We bring therapists on the show who are women. We have talks with all kind of women. We've sat down with a group of women who have a podcast, who are doctors at the highest level, and who have time to make a podcast and are raising children. So they don't have to wish. They actually are doing it. You know, it's called time management.
That's it.
That's all. But like I'm saying, the whole point is you took the 20 minutes you took to type back and forth with Horace, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, just bashing him. But I read it, and I want to give a shout out to one lady. She jumped right in, and held accountability, and I like that right there, because that's somebody who actually liked the show. She wasn't just agreeing; she was just like, bro, you went too far. Like you can disagree with Horace and not be a blatant liar. Because the things you were saying is, we don't take care of our kids. You don't do nothing in the community. Everybody had a ruined marriage. I'm like, what the hell is it? Like? So that makes me know that you've seen a comment, you've seen a post, you looked at our page and seen 4 people, and then said, oh yeah, these are a bunch of losers. Tends to tell me know that you was projecting your life. You're probably used to dealing with losers. You're probably surrounded by losers. That's in the male sense. And you don't really understand men. And right now, what we're representing is something that's unattainable. It's almost like a myth. You know, if you've always been looking for a horse, and then you turn on TV and you see somebody selling unicorns, it's gonna kind of piss you off when you've been just looking for a pony. Well, I'm sorry, ma'am, these unicorns are real, and we do exist, and we are the darker hue. So if you want to learn, if you want to better your life, and if you want to get that bitterness that I spoke of in that first segment out your heart, then we're live every Monday at 9 o'clock. And I guarantee you, if you look at our show, sit down, get you some tea, carve that time out. I know you so desperately want to, and sit back and then come back and say how you feel. We will advise you to come on. Tell us, because we always continue to ad to come on and let us know how you feel after watching our show. And that's all I got to say about this sister right here. We will keep you in prayer, Zay.
Listen, I was about to say, good brother Mario, you took some of the words out of my mouth, because I was going to tell her that she can watch our show. So we definitely would send invites and links so that you can explain yourself further, so that we get understanding, because that's one of the main things that I know that I personally speak of. I want to understand it from a woman's standpoint, because again, we do speak from a viewpoint of 4 males, because this is how we speak and this is how we gain understanding. But in order to understand something, sometimes we got to hear the other side speak, and we listen. We don't have accusatory speech. So I think that this is a case of STFU. We don't fuck with you. We don't even know you. And you definitely don't know us, because being fathers is the number one job of every last black man on this podcast that I know of, because I know I hold my brothers accountable, and they definitely hold me accountable. And my page is wide open, and all you're going to see is my princess. And when you speak of talking about doing work in the community, ma'am, that is a numero uno, especially for me. So I think she touched the situation, especially inside of me, because when you brought it to my attention, I said, brother, don't even give no attention, because what she did is explain everything that you spoke of, and you had to say nothing more. This moniker on my t-shirt is my business. This business does more for our community than I think you or your chatty ass girlfriends ever even thought of. That's one. Second, as a barber, ma'am, I cater to other kids who are not my children. Discounted haircuts. Hey, a lot of them are even for free. All I want you to do is bring me good grades. So when you talk about building something, we building kids. But we don't want to talk about that, because it's the small word called accountability that a lot of women like yourself, not all of you, so women, don't jump on my back, but those women who take a conversation from a piece as dastardly as this man posted to make it about what a black man needs to do more of for a woman, and you won't even hold your sister accountable when you know that she was dead ass wrong. That was dead ass wrong. And you didn't even build those children properly. You broke them. But you don't want to hit on that. But you know what? We digress, because we don't know what we're talking about. We just get on here every Monday, carve out time to be what you guys are, chatty Cathy's. However, we bring to the forefront, or to our plate and to our platform, educational points of views that any woman at any point in time can get in contact with us, because they do, whether it's in public or whether it's through our inboxes, questions that they want to have answered by men who are real men. But hey, what do we know?
Ma'am,
I digress.
When you spend 5 years
like
of your
Chris
life,
said, when we post that positive energy that we talk about, you know, like working out, like what it takes to be married, some of the better things that women do, not just the foolishness that we don't understand or agree with, that you so much love to run in. Oh, they tear women down. No, we don't tear women down. We love women. Jackass, my name is the ladies' man. I love them all. But hey,
ma'am, when you spend 5 years of your life coaching and mentoring kids, 3 of which unpaid, then you come and talk to me. That's when you come and talk to me, man. When you move and be a caretaker for 2 little girls that's not yours, that's not blood, not kin to you, simply because they're close with your daughter, ma'am, that's when you come and talk to me. But until then, I ain't got no rap. And what you talking about is cap.
And I want to know something, Horace.
He's not letting it go.
No. I want to know something. I really want to know something. And maybe Horace can expound on it a little bit more. But I do want to know: do women even recognize their toxic traits at points in times, especially in those? I mean, because that was a blatant attack on you, and I don't think that
she felt anything about what she did was wrong.
Man.
And I guarantee she have some women that may feel like she was right. But we'll let y'all comment or even come on because we'll add a link. Because we got under the collar about that one.
Listen, I would say this. I posted a pic this week of me and my boys. Bitch, if that ain't transparent, because in that picture, bitch, you seen a tired ass young dude at that moment saying, I love these kids, but what the hell? I needed a daddy to say, pull out. Boy, in that picture, if y'all see me and my boy had to laugh, boy. I said, boy, right there in that moment in 2012, bro, life was hell. I'm raising boys, talented boys, Tyler playing all these sports. Even when paying child support, you got to get the shoes, the uniform. Then they're going to play the travel ball. Then you got to get to the game. Like, I got to get off and go to his game because if you don't, he looking hurt. Like, he was really about that. Then, off the Friday night, leave his game, take him out to eat, then come back because Kendall got a game Saturday morning playing somewhere in Revere. Then, on a Saturday afternoon, somebody go back because Jamar playing wheelchair basketball. And to be honest, he was aggressive. So, you need to be there because boy was like world peace. You know what I mean? He was kind of bruh. He was that boy. Listen, that's the whole story. But I thought that on this show we've been transparent. And then the second thing, I even said, hey, you kind of proving my point because for you to just jump from A to Z, you don't have a good outlook on black men. Because I think right now, I'm glad you guys are courageous enough to do this because we don't care about you. Black men love what we're doing. So everybody, women, y'all getting something from it, but black men love what we're doing. Because that's what Chris pointed out when we first started. Ain't nobody doing what we're doing. Everybody trying to do podcasts, but there's nothing like four best friends who can tell you the trajectory of their life, share it for your benefit, and say, this where we was, this where we at. These are what we experienced. Hey, we got single mothers that might come and say, listen, I let my son listen to your show, true story. And he was a knucklehead, but that's my point. So again, like Xavier said, do women recognize or even know their toxic traits? Because absolutely, that was a moment like where we had the sisters come. But a lot of them was in my inbox, like, what's she talking about? No, I need you to get on her ass right there where she at, so she can see it, you know. So I'm gonna go to Mario first because you might give me some wisdom or some logic in this thing.
It's crazy because me and my wife, just like an ongoing discussion in our house about just the understanding of because it's not practiced often. Like sometimes I say something, one of y'all will call me, and I'll be like, nah, bitch, I don't think so. I think you was wrong, and da-da-da-da-da. They be like, hi. And she'll kind of overhear that and be like, damn, you always tell somebody what to do. You know what I'm saying? I'll be like, that's the problem with y'all. That at some point, you got to say, I love you. So if I can't say, I see some flaw in you, then who can? Like, and I think that's how I show my love, because I feel like I want you to do that to me. So I put out what I want reciprocate. I want, if I'm falling, if I'm messed up, I want you to do it back to me. So I feel like if I'm not doing it, I'm doing you a disservice as a friend. But one thing I did see is a lot of women don't look at it like that. And I think it's because they are more the emotional people that sometimes holding them accountable will be hurting them. And I think a lot of women don't want to see their friend hurt. So I don't think it comes from a malicious point in their relationship. This is just, like they said, a man on the outside looking in, but in talks with women, not only my wife, I see that when I get down to the root of the reason why they don't do it, it's because they honestly don't want to break them, their heart, hurt their feelings, or step on toes. When sometimes in life, to get to the real point of healing and truth, you have to. And I think men are just more susceptible because we're realists as a whole to say, hey, bro, you wrong. If you don't like it, you don't like it, but that's just what it is. And I think women are more trying to find a way to sugarcoat it. And in that sugarcoating, a lot of times you sugar it down too much, the actual thing what you're trying to tell them get lost in the sauce. And then you end up just patting them on the back when you should be smacking them on the ass, saying, hey, you fucking up. So I think from talking to a lot of women, that's what it really is. So to answer your question, Do they understand? I think so. I just don't think they know how to articulate it so it gets crossed. That's what I think.
Okay.
Interesting.
Well, I say it like this. I say it like this. You know how I am about the toxic word. So I don't like the toxic word. I think it's been misused over and over again.
Man,
I think it's a buzzword, and then once they put it in front of masculinity, I was done with it.
yeah.
But for the sake of conversation, I'm going to keep it here. The question is, does women know or recognize their toxic traits? I don't believe that they do, because at the end of the day, they don't have to. I believe that women do not have to. That to recognize your toxic traits, your toxicity, it must be a consequence for your toxicity. And if there's no consequence for your toxicity, you'll never recognize it. I'll give you an example. You in this patriarchy that we live in, you cannot put your hands on a woman. It doesn't make a difference. There's no excuse for it. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing, she can talk to you any kind of way she wants to, and you know how verbally abusive women can be. They'll say anything. You can't put your hands on her. And she could be physically abusive to you. There's still no reason to put your hands on her in this patriarchy that we live in. And if you decide to do that, she calls the cops, you may end up in prison. And in that patriarchy, they treat you in a very unique fashion if you come to prison. So I've heard, I've never been there. So you can't put your hands on them. What's next? Shaming, bashing, and triggering. We live in a world now where shaming, bashing, and triggering is a cardinal sin. You can't do that no more. It's like you didn't create you almost like you broke a law if you bash, shame, or trigger a woman. And triggering is new because I didn't personally. You have this trigger. I have no idea. I had no idea about it. But if I trigger one of your triggers, I committed a sin against you. So you can't bash, you can't shame, you can't trigger. What's next? Critique or judgment. Though, depending on the woman that you speak to, those can fall under the umbrella of shaming, bashing. They can fall under that umbrella. So you can't critique or judge. So what's left? Holding them accountable. But you can't do that because when you try to hold them accountable, they come up with arguments like, well, I was young and dumb. Or the argument of, well, what about men? Men do it too. And my all-time favorite is not all. You can't generalize women. I hear that all the time. And so you can't, it's no punishment for toxic behavior. There's no punishment for bad behavior. There's no punishment. And we as men has gotten so soft that we don't want to punish the shit. We're too busy worshiping these women to punish bad behavior. We let them say whatever they want to say to us. We let them do whatever they want to do to us. They treat us any kind of way, and we just accept it as if it's women because we so busy worshiping our gods. Matter of fact, we even call them goddesses. We anything they like on Facebook, anything they post on Facebook, we liking it. This is the same woman. She just changed clothes. It's the same titties. That's the same ass. And every post she make, you liking it. Anything she say on there, you agreeing with it. You worship women. We worship them. Now, I'm not saying this don't have a healthy, and I mean healthy appreciation of women, but you're worshiping gods. You're worshiping false gods. So you cannot inflict punishment on your God. You just can't. So no, I don't think they recognize. What I say is I don't think they have to recognize because there's nothing that we have set in place in this patriarchy that makes them have to recognize or know their toxic traits. That's what I got.
Ladies, man.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this to the young lady who made those faulty comments. I don't want you to feel that we're coming down on you. I do want you to understand that we are bringing awareness to you because we want you to be aware of yourself. And yes, man, we are going to hold your feet to the fire without giving you too much more credence as it comes to that. One of the things that I do not like is the divide that black men and black women have. So what my brothers have said illustriously, I'm gonna have to agree with the women as we ask about the toxic traits and do they recognize it. The accountability part of what we talked about, they know it because I understand that every person has the sense that God gave them to know right from wrong. And I believe that's right at the point in time where the projectionary speeches start to come, where you project versus hold accountable yourself to what you know ain't correct. You don't want to fix it. A lot of women and men, but because we're on the women asses right now, a lot of women hate to have mirror talk. Keep it real. One of the things that I always say is I hate to speak to a person that lies, but worse, I hate to speak to a person that knowingly lies to themselves and believe it. I can't fuck with you. You understand what I'm saying? And I need you to understand this, that this is not a beat down, but this is that ass whooping that Mario spoke of. We're not going to pat you on the back on this one. We are going to spank that ass. We are going to hold your feet to the fire. Check yourself. We're tired of checking you because you ain't listening anyway. So ask yourself, do you recognize some of the toxicity in what you spew? Because when you spit out words, what you say, it come from here. And you better check it because my dog talked about it in the beginning when he talked about a hater. And the definition again, Mario, was what? What's a hater? Yeah, all right.
I got you. Hold on. A person who dislikes or has no improvement or has no reason or can't. I don't missed it. I had it on my phone.
They get
you
it.
Can't receive anything from it. That's really a person who can't get nothing from it. You're hating for no reason.
And that part, you can't receive the message that we giving is what we talking about. So listen, hopefully you receive either this bread that we bring to you every Monday at 9 p.m. on this Black Super Friends podcast. And if you have any questions, ask us for the link because we'll definitely invite you on and listen to you before we spank that ass again. Hello.
All right. Well, I'm gonna do it. I'm producing a show. I want to do a show where I talk with different women because I'm at a point where dating is still different for me because I don't know how to date because I don't understand this new thing out here, right? And I am meeting. I don't want to use the word toxic like Chris. I'm gonna say mad black women. I got into an argument with my homegirl Piffin the other day because I talked about therapy. And then you remember I had that one post I did a couple months ago where, God damn it, they want to offer my head because I see y'all in therapy, but y'all ain't doing the work. But I'm gonna give you an example of toxic traits. Do they recognize them? I don't know. I go out on a date, not telling the time, but go out on a date. Young lady was good. I drop off on my way back home. She says, "Hey, I want to see you again, get your hug." Cool. I stop. We talking. I find out the person inebriated. The person had too many drinks. All right. So, hey, talk to him. Hey, I'm gonna go. You know why? Because I don't want to kill. It's too easy of a kill. So I'm making a growth and judgment call, like a simp. But hey, I digress. The next day, the person calls me and said, I'm really not into you because, I don't see that. I don't think you're into me." I said, "What you mean?" Was like I wanted you to have sex with me. I said, "Well, honestly, you were drunk, like beyond belief. I personally don't want to have sex with somebody, and then the next day you're saying that I took something or you don't know what happened. I'm not playing them kind of games. We're too grown. I'm gonna have a show with the date doctor on that. I absolutely would have smashed. But guess what? I'm not in the business of taking some old Court 45 loving. All right. So toxic traits. I don't know if they recognizing them, but I swear to God, bro, like I gotta take some accountability because right now I was meeting the same mofos over and over, and I said, well, what am I doing to attract them? And the funny part about it, me talking to that person, they really, I don't know if they recognize it because they didn't recognize it or they was at their capacity for learning because we couldn't get some understanding now. So I don't know, man. But I said all that to say, I got beef with Mario. Yeah, I need your attention, bro. I was married, bro. I wasn't in a place that I could fully incorporate what I know now. I made some decisions based on who I was then. I might have made some emotional decisions. Nonetheless, I'm not that person. I am a divorced man, right? Cry me a river, like Justin Timberlake said. But on this show, the Mario, who women love, they say he's the logical one. My brother is a proponent of marriage. He is always talking about marriage. He talks in a great way. He talks on the spiritual level. My brother talks about marriage. And maybe you talk about marriage so good that people, without talking to you, think that your life is just amazing, that you are rich, that you are living the Tyler Perry movie marriage, that you don't have problems, you don't have arguments, and that the best thing that happened to you is not your job, but the best thing that made you goddamn elevate was you getting married. And that is going to solve all their problems. And I'm not saying that that's not the case as far as you, because we love sis and we love y'all marriage. It's damn sure encouraging. But we have had a couple of people outside our circle, inside our circle, who have just turned into this, who said comments like, damn, but Mario look happy as hell. Bro, I'm about to find me a girl to get married real quick. You know what I'm saying? Shit. Mario is the textbook. He doing it, man. And Mario winning right now. My boy look happy, man. My boy, my boy to move to Atlanta, got him a wife he owned. And I'm talking like, this wasn't a 1 month thing. Like this was not overnight. This was not. You might not, because you don't talk to Mario. You don't know that Mario didn't just wake up and say, Jaleesa, it's you. Mario has grown. So without going on a big rant, I really want to, and I'm going to the date doctor first because on this show, Chris has talked about Mario. He's actually asked Mario certain questions because, you're incorrigible, you're impressionable, and you talk highly about marriage. And so I can understand Chris saying, hey, bro, I want to understand this. Hey, bro, I like that. I seen y'all with the matching pajamas. I like you at the park. But for somebody not to know you and say, yeah, bro, yeah, that's it. That's it. That's no different from somebody who say he want to start a business. He knows nothing about the damn business, but he knows that Mario got rich or Mario driving an Escalade. So that means Mario must be getting that money from now. So not to ramble on like I do, but Chris Luther King, what did I just notice that? Chris Luther King. Bro, did you have any insight on that?
What I say is this. I think it's unfair to Mario and Jaleesa to do that, to make them your example. You know what I'm saying? These two has been there 2 years, and they're fairly young people. They only been married 2 years, so it's kind of unfair to him to put your expectations on him. That's his wife, not yours. Like, so at the end of the day, like, he's never. I think if you're getting from what I get from Mario teaching and everything and conversations and stuff on the show, if you getting happy marriage and all this, not to say that it's not, if you're getting that from it, you're missing the point. You're missing what he's trying to teach you. What I believe, this is my opinion, what I believe that he's trying to teach you is it starts with you. You have to be better. You have to get better spiritually. You got to get better physically. You got to get better mentally and financially. It starts with you. The message is you get better. And the better you get, the better you can, all these other avenues of your life increases and they get better. But it starts with you. I don't see him saying that marriage saved my life. What he's saying is, I did these things to put myself in a position, and now all other things in my life got better. You know what I'm saying? I think we look at the end result instead of the process, and that's what I think that's what messes a lot of people up. If you're gonna learn anything from Mario, learn that he tries his best. I don't know, I'm not with him 24 hours a day, but he tries his best to live a disciplined life. But with living a disciplined life, with discipline it comes sacrifice. Some bullshit got to go to get the good shit in. So you got to take that part from it. He's also grounded spiritually. Now I don't know what your belief system is, but he structures his life behind a belief system. Now, you have, whether you believe what he believes is irrelevant, but you have to structure your life behind a belief system. Hopefully, it's a positive belief system, but that's the stuff that keeps you grounded. And then on top of that, an appreciation for what every single person that comes into his life brings to his life, and the ability to get the people that doesn't bring value out of it, or at least reduce the amount of time he invests in those people. That is the message. Now, if you do those things and marriage is a byproduct of it, fine. I believe that you're going to be better in your marriage. But none of this is going to guarantee a good, happy, or positive marriage. And again, Mario is only 2 years into it. He's in the first chapter of his book. You guys got to let him write his book a lot longer. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, again, I think it's just unfair when people do that. It's unfair to put that type of pressure on him, especially Angelisa. These are newly married young people in this day and time, in the social media area. Y'all what you need to be doing is praying for them. What you need to be doing is saying, hey, encouraging them. And then you do what you do, because you're not Mario and she's not Jaleesa. You gotta have your own special thing, your own unique thing. But that's what I took from it. That's what I did.
Listen,
my brother.
So false prophet. Listen, I'm gonna give you an example, and I'm gonna be quick with mine. All right. Glad y'all didn't take a joke at me. Listen,
that's what she said.
Yeah,
boy.
Listen, I'm gonna give you an example, right? One day when me and Zay Pooper was in church, right? We had a pastor come to the church, and the pastor pulled me up and he prayed for me, and he was telling me, boy, you got them streets selling them drugs, and he did all of this and did a number on me, right? I'm like,
allegedly.
Well, I wasn't selling drugs then.
No, he did a number on him though.
Yeah, he did a number. So I'm like, bro, like it was totally false. My grandma was mad. But I didn't go to church for a whole years because of that. I'm like, man, these jokers fake. But the lesson in that is, I didn't go to church because of what this man said, and I was offended with what he said. But if I would have died inside them 10 years and I didn't know God and I have a relationship, I died. And the consequence would have been on me, because I allowed this fool to keep me from, all my disappointment and offense would have kept me probably going to hell. Not saying I'm not going, but the point is, that's the same thing what Chris is saying. So we celebrate Mario, we celebrate Jaleesa, we celebrate their marriage because it's encouraging. But that's like putting a lot of pressure on Mario to say, now if Mario next week say something went wrong, now you like, see that, I ain't getting married.
Exactly.
I'm not getting married. See, man, my dog, it didn't work out for my dog. And he's looking like, what did that have to do with you? You know what I mean? Because one thing Mario did on the show, he talked about him, his process, his growth. He talked about right now. He talks about now, even the change he went through. I think one thing when we first started on this show, from the first show to now, I was very transparent about my relationship, my marriage, the divorce, the in-between time, like going through hell. We have had some real fights on this show that teaches about accountability, holding each other accountable on this show, where Chris would be like, I'm calling you out. You got to tell me this. Or Mario, like we've had those moments, and we've been transparent and left some honest moments. Chris don't want to admit that, but Chris has had some moments. We've had moments on here that were transparent, but you can benefit from. We have not hid the game from anybody. When I talk about marriage and divorce, I talked about me. Hey, back then, the person I was then couldn't handle what was going on then. Like we really let you see inside for your benefit. And I don't think people really recognize, and I hope people will start to appreciate what Mario said, his process. That's what you should have heard. You shouldn't have been focused on right now. You should have talked about how Mario was talking about how he need to get his life together. When you were talking about his job, his career, like I felt like that's what was missing. And that's similar to the guy, Devon Franklin, and he just divorced the little red girl. How people are distraught. Oh, man, they didn't make it. Da, 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 da. Like, how?
Bro.
So my point is that's what I got angry with. To Chris's point, is like, bro, marriage. If I what I know now, I'm a different person from what I was then. But I understand that marriage back then I didn't know what marriage was, the component, the totality, 360 of
Yeah.
it. And that's what I probably got mad with because I'm like, bro, don't take anything for granted. So you about to put your expectations on Mario and use it as a lighthouse when that's not absolutely fair at all. So Zabo, ladies man.
Man, before I concur with you guys, you boys hit on some great points. I'm gonna have to take a pause break to kind of hit on stuff that we always talk about. People don't understand the amount of comedy that comes inside our lives. And I'm talking about the four of us, and there's a couple more of us that's included in this Black Super Friends podcast that we talk about. But that one episode that Horace is speaking of right now, I want you guys to understand that we were in Fort Lauderdale at a world conference. There are churches from all over the world when they did this display, this dastardly display on my brother. And I believe the words that pastor used was, Horace is a wolf in the church, still in the church's sheep. God damn it, we fell out. Because that was the funniest shit to us, not realizing what that did to him mentally as far as his relationship with church. So that's messed up. So I did want to highlight that because that's crazy. Because again, we were in high school. And that was funny as hell. We're like, God, they called you out like that. Oh, man. But that blew my brother up. So now back to the lesson at hand that what we're talking about with Mario's marriage. These brothers hit on some great points. All right. And I concur with each and every one of them because even though we're talking about a lot of men, because again, what people don't understand is for Black men, it's because that's who we cater to. Marriage is a hard thing. Like, we're not taught that. And I say that all the time. We taught how to be pimps and how to be players. It's all kind of songs that we can recite backwards, forwards, upside down, and inside out. But there are not too many that teach us how to be good, loving husbands that we can, recite on because we were taught that was simp behavior. So when you hear us bigging up our brother, it's not because we feel like he's better than us. It's because like we're trying to give him that support and that encouragement because he's walking a track that is not normal for Black men, at least not from where I'm from, because we're going to have some guys that say, this, that, and the other. And, kudos to you guys because you probably had a little bit more structure. But where we come from, it wasn't none. They taught us how to get hoes and how to play them. And I'm going to tell you the God's honest truth. So the one thing that I love the most about my brother, my sister too, because she's strong, because women, y'all love Mario to death, but y'all don't understand. We call Mario the great debater for a reason. That boy will argue your ass under the table, okay? And one thing I love is, my sister, she looks, and she just bat her eyes, and she smiles, and she just love him anyway. And I know she want to wring his damn neck. You understand me? And that's usually where a lot of you weak women would have left. Oh, I can't do this and do that because you didn't understand that at the moment you said I do is when the work began. However, my brother repeatedly says on here, week in and week out, how he makes sure that he is the best representation of himself. He works on himself thoroughly, like Chris said, mentally, spiritually, financially. How can I be better? And physically, because we know we call him Mega Man. He go to the gym like it's nobody's business, all in Puerto Rico, and this nigga at the gym. Hey, my brother, I'm sorry. Don't find me too. However, what a lot of men and women miss is the point that Chris made. It all starts with you. You got to get you right. You can't be the person that you want to be for that other person until you are right with you. That mirror talk that I talked about that a lot of people try to shuck and jive and run away from. You listen, if you can look in that mirror and lie to yourself and believe it, don't talk to me. Because my conversation gonna be short. I like to have intelligent conversations. Once you start talking that foolish talk, we are done. And I got to put you in the foolish box because that's how that's going to happen. You understand? But you need to work on yourself. 2022, one of my good brothers just said a few days ago, and I'm going to take this from him. And if he's looking, kudos and hats off to you. Be a better person. Be a better friend to the individual that you say you're friends with. Be a better lover to that person that you say you love. What I mean, too many people want this fairy tale life and storybook ending that they see with Mario, which is the finished product. And he's not even done because he's still a work in progress. What you don't understand is my brother got so much more to do and show y'all. Just keep watching the show. You understand me? Because he don't want to tell y'all nothing. But by golly, if you keep watching, you damn it, you're gonna see it. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. However, the thing that you want most, give it first. Give it without expecting anything back in return. Because guess what? Don't nobody owe you a damn thing. But my brother said that too. And I guarantee you a lot of you missed that message. He said that regardless if Jaleesa stays or not, and he prays that she stays, he's going to continue to be the best version of him every day. Matter of fact, I'm going to be a better version of me tomorrow than I was yesterday. And I think that that's the context clue that you need to take more out of anything else that he said as it pertains to that marriage than anything else. As you look for that, look at yourself first and ask yourself, am I even marriage material? Because, hell, a lot of y'all are requiring and asking things of people that you can't even first furnish or provide. And I'm going to go right back to my ghetto ways and tell you to get the fuck out of here and shut the fuck up. Sorry, Tudor, don't find me. But I had to get it off my chest because it was real, and that's exactly who I am. But I digress with that, and I am through. So if you want to get married, my words to you, 2022, become a better you and become a better friend to that person that you say you truly want to be with. And that's all that they got to say.
Last Cowboy, we gave our spiel, but we're not married. So
At all.
what are your thoughts? Because like I said, I had to ask you. Listen, I'm just angry. I'm mad with him.
Well, first of all, I'm gonna say I thank y'all for y'all kind words, because being a representation of something that I believe in is always good to me, because I think from the beginning of the time when I said I was gonna get married, I honestly believed in it. Like, so what I did is, and all y'all can attest to this, I kind of wanted to understand what I was gonna get myself into. And I think that in my life, like Chris alluded to, like that's what I do with a lot of my life. Like when it comes to the gym, when it comes to working, when it comes to like even when I became a manager, like this in every aspect of my life, I try to say, like, all right, how do I be the best version of what this entitles or what this is called for when I'm stepping into this role? So what I did is I got around a bunch of people who I felt this would come to what Horace is talking about, who I felt had good marriages. When I started talking to them, I seen that from the outside looking in, I thought it was all peaches and cream. But as I begin to talk to them and they begin to pull layers back, they begin to let me know the real of what marriage is, of what their marriage is, not what marriage is, because you make your own marriage, but what their agreement was. And I started saying, like, man, I didn't think that you can be married for this long and be going through this. I didn't know y'all went through that. I didn't know, you know what I'm saying? And I think that it comes from the Bible to say, well, if you seek knowledge and you pray, then God will give it to you. And I believe in that form, I was blessed that a lot of people around me had started pouring into me. The second thing I say is I agree with this so much. You know, a lot of time on the show, I had pulled back at one point of the show. I had talked to Tootie about this. I was like, man, a lot of people saying, man, I want to be married. And you're right. And I felt like what Chris said, there's a lot of pressure. And I was like, damn, bro, hold up. I just got married. Like, I'm still daily praying. Like he said, we need your prayer. Like we knew at this. Like I tell anybody around me, pray for me. Pray for me, pray for Jaleesa, that we continue this walk that we on. Because we on it together. Because we are doing this daily. Like it's not no, we got anything figured out. We made a conscious decision to say we're gonna go on this journey together. And that's it. There's nothing good or bad about it. It's no in between, it's no fairy tale. We said we meant to be together and let's walk this road together. And let's every day come back to the start and start over and take another step and take another step. And then hopefully at the end of the road, when we go on to our glory, that we can look back and say, hey man, we walked this path together. And on this path together, we in somewhat fulfill the purpose that God put us together. Which leads me to what Chris was saying. The second thing was, I always tell people, I don't know if I could be married if I didn't believe in God. That's me. Like he said, that's a big foundation of my marriage to me. Because a lot of times, 90% of the stuff that you're held accountable for is not seen. Like right now, I don't do a lot of stuff because of my commitment to Jaleesa under God. So a lot of that commitment can be broken because it's like what Chris was saying, it's gonna be no punishment because a lot of it's not gonna be seen. So I can go and do a lot of stuff and it probably won't come back to people gonna always say it come back. Well, we know that's not true. That's just something you tell your kids so they tell the truth. All the stuff you do don't come back to life. It don't. In the form of that you want it to come. But I have to always understand that I got married to Jaleesa for a purpose. And my purpose was, you're right, built into what I think God had a plan for us to be together. That by us being obedient to his plan and coming as a union, we get love, a family, money, time together. All that is because we was obedient and obeyed him and came together. That's how I believe. Some people don't believe in it. And I always ask them, when I find a person who's been married for a long period of time and they don't believe in God, my intrigue level goes up. I want to know because I want to know what fuels him, because I'm so in depth into that part of it. And the last thing I said is, when Horace brought this comment to me, he like, man, I want to talk about this. Do you mind? And I was kind of like, no, I don't mind, but I want to know what angle was it coming from? You know what I'm saying? When he expressed it to me, and I was like, yeah, I think we should. And I think the guys and all of us will have some good to say about this. But I was kind of like in the middle, because like in some form, I love my homeboys. I felt like everything I ever did in my life that I did good or had fun, I wanted y'all to do. If I went to a club, I couldn't wait to take y'all. I was like, bro, when I moved to Atlanta and it started rocking and rolling, I called everybody, bro, you got to come up here. This is the best place in the world, like everything. When I went to Orlando, first time I seen Chris, I came back and said, boy, I'm moving. I love it. I called Pat, man, I told everybody to come there. Zay came, Horace came, Norman. I'm talking about everybody, because if I'm actually loving what I'm doing, I feel like everybody around me have what it takes to do it too. And I want y'all to be just as happy as me. That's who I am, just as a friend, as a person. So I think that's a bipartisan me always talking about marriage, because my marriage is good to me. And since I've been married, my life has been real good. That doesn't mean I haven't worked a lot to get to this point of where I'm at. It just means that I know that every time I live there and be like, man, I got somebody who I can really count on. I'm gonna call y'all and beat y'all ear drum, because I want you to call me back and be like, yeah, bro, I know how that feels. So I want it for you. I know how I feel. And I think y'all deserve it. So a lot of times me talking about my marriage, because I'm talking to my homeboys. So when people look at this show, you can't forget that I'm talking to 3 of my best friends on the show about a part of my life that I'm having the time of my life at. So when I'm so excited about it, it's because I want the same thing for them too. But see, the thing that they get that a lot of people don't get is they do talk to me on the phone. They do ask the questions. We do go over a lot of stuff. They have seen my progression. So it's not like they just looking at Mario life saying, oh, y'all want this. They saying, I know my dog. I know Mario. I seen this what happened. And if I get on this road, I'm going to get this too, because now I know it's not phony. Then Chris said one of the things to me and Jaleesa right before, and I'm gonna cut this off. He said, bro, I never really seen too many people I know seriously be married. And I was like, man, that's deep. So then he said that to us, he was talking, and then it was deep to my wife. She was like, man, that's man. She said, I don't want to disappoint Chris. I said, hey, that's not up to us, because that's a lot. I know Chris. I'm just saying, for real. So I take my hat off, because I understand what he's saying. I understand what he's saying to another level. Like, bro, if you're going to do this, don't bullshit. But you see the pressure when sometimes people hear that, it make it like, damn, I don't want to disappoint. And she kind of felt like that. Like, I love Chris. I don't want to see Chris. So she kind of felt like that, right? Then I heard me and Horace in the mall walking one time. He was like, dang, bro, if I had known what I known, if I had been in a better place, you know what I'm saying? My wife, I've been able to save my life like that. And I was like, bro, you didn't. And I'm not to say this for that time, but because you were so transparent with me, it showed me stuff that I couldn't do. So a lot of stuff that went into my marriage was other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, they come all the time and have, bro, I don't know about this. I don't know. I was like, bro, you got to know, because this and this and this and this. So we had them conversations all the time. So I'll tell people this. If you're sitting here watching Mario, the last thing before I let it go, one, understand this. I focus on Mario every day. I'm going to repeat what Zay was alluding to. If Jaleesa leaves tomorrow, I pray she never leaves. But one thing you can assure is that Mario Hardy is working on being on me. And I'm going to sit here today and tell you it won't be because of me. That's my goal. I wake up every morning and say, if this marriage dissolves, don't let it be your fault, Mario. Because that's what you can control. The only thing I can control is Mario's fault. If she walk out tomorrow and say, I'm done with you, I found somebody, I'm going to be hurt, I'm going to cry, I'm going to probably call these guys right here, and I'm going to get over it. Because I'm going to be able to lay in my bed and say, it wasn't me. I was listening to God, I was fulfilling my purpose, and I was doing what I could do to help this. It wasn't she was this and she was that and she was going to save my life and all. No. Once again, it's me, it's me, it's me. And the biggest thing, and I'm going to leave this alone today, is if you want to be married, the one thing you should focus on above all things is compromise. Because if you're not ready to compromise, you shouldn't even get a girlfriend. Damn marriage.
Three things I'm going to say, and I'm going to be real quick about that, Hardy. The part that they forgetting, you saying compromise, but you know, when you talk to us a lot, it's sacrifice. Sacrifice, and what Chris hit on is discipline. You feel me? Mario's gonna always tell you it's a lot of sacrifice going to this, but you can't get anything out of life without sacrificing first. So, guys, if you listening and you think that it's a bed of roses, you better be ready to sacrifice some stuff to get what you want at the end of that rainbow. Second, I'm gonna ask you when Chris was asking you, was that the conversation when he asked you, "Are you sure about this?" That one wasn't. Was the St. Martin? That was the. Are you sure about this, Hardy?
Yeah, that was a valuable question. Cause like, even when he asked me that, right? He was saying, "Bro, are you sure you want to do this?" Cause I know how you is about stuff. Like, are you making sure this is a conscious, like this is what you want? Especially because of this, man. Me and Chris had a lot of times in our life. We stayed together for a long point of time. So it was a lot of point of time when we struggled together, didn't know what we was gonna eat from. So at one point in my life, Chris seemed like, damn, my dog probably is doing good. He's doing the best he had been doing. So then all of a sudden, the next time we really started talking, I was like, bro, I'm finna get married. You're like, what? You just made it to the point in your life where you don't need you're at a point where you can have women, you can do whatever you want. Bro, why would you do it now? But see, them the questions you have to ask. And not just say, but a lot of people don't ask me them questions. They ask me questions about like, how do we get a house? What made me say I'm gonna marry Jaleesa? And that's a loaded question. But you didn't ask me what made me say that I even want to be married. What made me say that I'm gonna sacrifice being this guy in Atlanta and say, nah, I'm straight on that. I want this. I want to have a child after my child, marry a woman who wants to have children, knowing my child is going to go to college. And you're going to start all over. So there's a lot of sacrifices that you got to understand, like Zay said, is alluding to. And the biggest sacrifice of all is you knowing that even when you write sometimes, and people know this is the biggest sacrifice for me.
Yeah, huge.
Even when you write, even when you wrong, just saying, yeah, all right, you got it. And then go on my way. What? And I'm telling you, because
the biggest.
See, I believe in the devil and God. I do. And I believe that right now, Jaleesa could say something, and I'll be like, what? And I walk out the house, and then I have to understand. I go to the grocery store, and I go down aisle 3, and the woman who was everything in my type will be right down aisle 3, smiling. And because the devil comes nothing but to kill, steal, and destroy. So you have to understand that right now, sometimes it behooves me to just say, all right, and go in the other room. Because all that, man, and then getting in my truck and driving, you're going to drive yourself right into it. You know what I'm saying? But I have that come from mentorship, talking to people, knowing, like Hora told me, bro, a lot of them conversations, I didn't have to be arguments. I should have just overlooked them and kept going. So me hearing it, I'm like, damn, this might be one of them times. You know what? All right, and going to the next room rather than going out. You know what I'm saying? So I think marriage is like what Chris said. We're not no damn gurus. Hey, we're 2 years in, man. I thank God it's a happy 2 years and we've been fruitful. But I think that's because I tell Jaleesa every day, you're not in control of me and what I do. Focus on you being the best Jaleesa. I'm going to focus on being the best of Mario. And we put God first, you do that and I do this, we can't lose. And I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I was going to say, bro, no matter what the topic was, we have left some amazing gems out on this podcast. Even in the divorce factor, bro, I told y'all, like, in retrospect, like, egos have to die. Your ego. Listen, I was married. We had two egos that was just constantly doing that. But to Mario's point, like Chris was talking about compromise and sacrifice, bro. I tell a friend, I just told him recently, like you have to be sold. Ain't no like to Chris' point, like ain't no this. I'm vibing right now and it's good because, bro, you might be right about to get married, everything good, and then you got that checklist of the chicks you still want to get at. And now all of a sudden, them opportunities start opening up. They're like, boom, boom, boom. Now you trying to like, I want to get married, but damn, I really want to smash this one and this one and that one. You got to be totally sold. Like this is it. This is my end all, be all. You know what I mean? And you got to have, you got to let some of that stuff go. Where, like you saying, it's whether it's right or wrong. You can't be. I ain't about to get played because you probably gonna get played a lot. Oh, now you trying to listen. For peace sake, you live to love another day. For peace sake,
you're gonna get tried. You're gonna get played. You're gonna take the short end of the stick. All that's gonna be come with it. And one advice I would give to the people, and I think this helped me a lot, and I didn't notice it until I honestly just noticed it right now. What Chris said is it made me really understand this. I heard a man say if a man can withhold sex and understand his virtue, then he can control the world. Man said that, right? So now I said, what is that called? Discipline. So a man was talking to me. He was like, bro, you got to practice being disciplined before just in every part of your life. Like, just say I'm not going to drink no sodas. Just start off small, but you got to stick to that. Like be disciplined. Because if you haven't practiced being disciplined, how could you walk into a marriage when it takes nothing but discipline and then think that because I love her, you can't be that naive to think because I love her and we have a good time together, that's all it's gonna take to hold us through. Bro, you have to have some tools in that bag that you're gonna have to be able to use because every now and again you're gonna have to change your boat. You're gonna have to change the oil, you're gonna have to do some stuff. So I tell people right now, me going to the gym, I think was the first part of me, then me learning how to eat right. Me learning to say, hey, bro, you know what? I'm finna go for a while being with one woman. I had never been with one woman in my life until maybe like 9 years ago. Like the relationship, like right before her, and it wasn't even my best relationship. But I had vowed to myself I was gonna be with one woman because I had never done it. And a lot of times people always have a little something on the side, always playing, always got that. And then, bro, you to cut that off, cold turkey, and be married to one woman for the rest of your life, that's unrealistic. You setting yourself up. And you promising this girl something that you can't even deliver, or you don't even know if you can deliver because you ain't never tried it.
Bro, I think we need to appreciate the married man because, to be honest, women, if you got a good husband, hey, you got a good husband, pour into him and appreciate it. Because men really just be wanting to be appreciated because we don't get appreciated. Because married men, they don't hate to hear this. One thing I would say, women talk about how all these old cheating ass married men, they ain't cheating by themselves.
Yeah.
So
there's a group of women who just seek out for that.
Yeah.
My homeboy told me that who is
easy kill.
Never say his name. He's
a going home
habitual cheater. He's like the cheater at the highest level. He's a super saiyan in cheating. And he said, I wear my ring not because I like it, because the hoes like it.
God damn.
I said, what? Right?
God damn.
This before I was married. No, this before I was married. I said, what? He said, bro, I never go out the house without this ring. I ain't never got so much pussy since I put this ring.
I'm trying to tell you, dog.
I said, what? He said, bro, man, this bitch don't know I got all kind of ring. He said, I wouldn't have got a ring that got so many damn cubic zirconias in it so a bitch can see me on the other side of the club. He said, this ring is the best thing that ever happened to me. He said, bro, I would have got this ring when we were little if I had known it was going to get me this much pussy. Dog. And sitting back looking at your life, you know, because I'm always be like, bro, I don't think you should, but I ain't know who am I. But bro, this man is not. I know he has went from maybe a kind of guy to his numbers. He's like Barry Bonds. He's gonna get a Hall of Fame. He's hitting Hall of Fame numbers right now because they're right, and it's undefeated. And then a woman will say, "You're right, dude. He's a cheating ass man. No good, dirty dog." but he's not gay. So all these women who he's knocking down is seeing this big ass ring on his finger, and he's and his big ass children in his house, and all his wife and all that, and they still coming in up and going right back out, and coming in and going right back out. So hey, that's the accountability thing again, women.
We had a chick. We had a chick on the show say she cheat with them because at the end of the night they got to go home.
Right. A lot of people cheat with him because one thing for sure, he know he got to go home, so he ain't got time. You want this? You want to go shopping? You want this? Here, get this. Get on out my like. Cause you're right. He is to the right woman. He's the perfect stepping stone for her life, and to her, she serves a purpose until he goes home.
Yeah.
But then people try to act like that level of sneakery and treachery don't exist. That's very prevalent. That's very prevalent. And it's a group of cheating ass men and lusting ass women who thrive off being in that little gray zone right there. And I'm talking about thrive off it because, bro, this man told me that shit. Just how y'all laugh, I laugh too. It's like, nigga, stop capping, da da da. But then we begin to partake in driving around and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, boy, this is crazy. At that point in time, I wasn't married and had no girlfriend. This man was fully married, and women was. I'm talking about grown, successful women. Hey, how y'all doing? Da, da, da. Well, I'm like, this got to be like, bro, I'm telling you, put on a ring, bro. And he's a fool. So he like, bro, I got one and go in my car, reach up the thing, go. I'm sitting there, oh, this man is, but it's working. So one thing for sure, once you show me something, I can't discredit it. And I knew then though, but seeing that then made me be more aware. Now, there's people who saying this and saying, aha, I might got me one. And I gotta be, you know what I'm saying? Because if you're not ready for that world, who Jesus, you think you gotta be willing to turn women down. I'm gonna say that. You have to be ready to turn the women of your dreams down, probably.
Well, you never say that. That's what the key thing of closing out. They talk about the cheating men, but he ain't cheating by himself. So it's always gonna be the one side. Even in that, I'm the victim. Like
projection talk.
Bro, accountability talk, man. Listen, bro, always we ain't mean to go long, but
yes, yes, we did. But what every time?
Listen, ain't no God damn it.
No, they always.
Yeah.
All balls deep.
Okay. Listen, the game ain't a game, so that worked out tonight. Closing comments. I'm gonna go to Chris Luther King since it's People's Day.
Well, again, I like to give the reason for the season. I would like to celebrate the life of Martin Luther King. I would like to let him know that his sacrifice would never be forgotten. He walked so we can fly. And I just want to say, let's continue to live our life and spread his message and just understand that he wasn't a one-dimensional man. It wasn't all about having a dream. Some of the times he talked about living the dream and tangible things that he wanted us to have. It wasn't all non-violence. It wasn't all rosy. Some of the things he talked about is fight, because at the end of the day, to get peace is a product of war. War is not a product of peace. So always keep the warrior spirit.
Thank you for that, Chris Luther King. Hey, before I go to the latest man, I want to highlight 4 things that you need to know, and you can Google on your own. 1, Martin Luther King won a Grammy. Many people don't know that. Second of all, Martin Luther King did not die. He was killed. All right. Third, Martin Luther King did not die from the gunshot wound that he suffered from the hotel balcony. He actually died from being suffocated in a hospital, which is part of the plan to make sure he went to said hospital instead of the one that was nearby. He actually was suffocated because he survived the gunshot wound. 4th, listen, I'm not going to say much about Reverend Jackson, but go and Google Reverend Jesse Jackson and be the people that be right around you. You know what I mean? And 5th, Martin Luther King. The thing that I hate about indoctrination, Martin Luther King did "I Have a Dream" speech, right? But that was not his last speech. That's all they do is put in front of your face, "I have a dream." He actually died years later after he went to Memphis and shut the whole goddamn economy down. And when he started messing with the money, that's when he died. The speech before he got killed the night before was America owes us a check. And so, listen, the last thing is when people start boycotting, you had our grandparents and ancestors that were boycotting, working an hour to work just to goddamn be. So when people do boycott, you got to understand why it was successful. The boycotts worked because nobody's riding the bus. It had an impact because the white bus drivers, the bus companies, the garbage men, all these white people started losing their jobs and the economy crashed. And then he was killed because Martin Luther King said the white moderates owe us the money. Where's the check? So, ladies, man.
Hey, I love all those tidbits that you gave, Horace. And if again, I'm calling that young lady ass out. If you were watching, I hope you did what we do, and that's research. You understand what I'm saying? Stop going for the quick narrative because it's so easy, that low-hanging fruit. But in context to our message of what we talked about today, I'm going to end on this note. Martin Luther King said the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands in times of challenge and controversy. Put that feather in your cap and put that in your pipe and smoke it when you talk about anything that has to do with anything that you want or that you will not face head on. What I mean by that, this marriage talk that we have, it ain't easy for us, man. Pour into us the same way that you want us to pour into you. Like I said in my speech, be a better version of you in this 2022 year, and maybe you can reap the fruits of the labor that you put in. I'm going to end now. I always end. Tag a friend. Share this podcast. I think we drop a lot of jewels. I think that we pour into our community a lot. I think we try to build up these same men that a lot of women tear down to be the husbands that you Negroes want. Yeah, because if we don't talk to them, you ain't. Because if you talk down to them the way that a lot of women like to dog us men, you know, you don't want us to tell you all women, but you want to say all men. And we trying to get them right because we actually believe in holding our brothers accountable. Tell them to tune in to the Black Super Friends podcast. We be here every Monday, 9 o'clock. I told you before. I tell you again. Tell a friend. What you got for them?
The last cowboy with all them stars on.
Hey, man. I got, Dr. Tootie brought up some great stuff about, like, that's one thing my daddy just beat in my head when I was young. It's like I Had a Dream speech was not his last speech. Wasn't even close to being his last speech. But you're right. That is a step in the fundamental process of indoctrination. Like, that's how they get you to be brainwashed into submission. And that's a whole nother show, but I wanted to make sure, them like the points of stuff of having a young boy that I got to make sure I implode into him, because he has to understand that submission is a beating down of your mind and letting you know you have to be less than. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to submit, and then you don't submit to nobody but God. But one of the biggest things that Martin Luther King, one of the two quotes that always, I got them in my office, on my board, I got them in my job, everywhere, is that our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter. Listen, this quote right here probably got me in more trouble than I should have got in, because I always felt like I have to say something. I have to let you know. I have to, and I probably took it out of context most of my life. But now I know it means you don't have to always say something. But when it really matters, you're robbing yourself and yourself of life and forthcoming if you don't say nothing. And to close my comments, the last one is the time is always right to do right.
Do the right
thing. And that's right there just the epitome of what, to go back on my marriages. I think that right now, if I focus on the time always being right for me to do the right thing, then everything else will work its way out. You know what I'm saying? So, like Zay said, we want to make sure that y'all hit the comment, hit the share button, and start your own little watch parties. You know that you can repost this and get a group of people, and then y'all can have discussions about the show, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. And then y'all can bring them over to us, and we're always open to take on guests, to answer questions, to have dialogue, to, have open forums. And don't forget, 2022 is the year that you'll be able to buy tickets and see us in person. So you'll be able to get a visual up and tangible, I wouldn't say touching, but you'll be able to get close enough to to talk to
You
us,
can
to see
interact.
us, and you know what I'm saying? And our
Oh.
thing.
I don't mind the touching.
Yeah. Hey, according to this crew I'm with, you might get lucky if you play your cards right, ladies. ladies.
Man.
So just be on the lookout for that and understand that. Save you some days to take off at work because we will be on the road this year. So just stay tuned for that because it's gonna be coming to a city near you.
All right, peace. Hit that share button. Good night.